Welcome to the stream, folks. It's a Sunday, it's time for some more development. So, without further ado, let's get right onto it. What I am doing is we want a static view of what is going on within our camera or within our scene, okay? Now, with that in mind, we are basically trying to set our camera between the follow camera and a static camera. Okay. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to switch cameras. Okay. So we switch from this camera, hopefully, to that camera. Okay. So that seems to be a decent answer. And we can delete this camera manager. And this. And this. And we can basically plug this in, then branch and that's actually going to go in there. And if we want to go to the static, we can go to here. Then basically we duplicate this. We go to here and we basically do the opposite. Okay. Now the next thing we do is we go back to our interactable items and we go to the ladder now. We set our position and rotation, and now what we do is we get our ref cam and we say switch camera to the static camera. Okay. And then once we have done everything, I'm going to delete. We're going to delete this, and we're going to delete this, and delete that. And we're going to switch the camera back to the non-static. Okay. And hopefully right. And that's kind of us. Okay. So we'll try that again. I know there's a glitch at the top, but that's because we haven't got a sort of dismount. Okay. So that seems to be fixing our issue. And we maybe need to do something a little bit with the stuff there, but I would say that is actually going to work. And we've got stuff going on with that event. And we maybe actually want this at the end of our event. So if we were to put this here, and let's have a look. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so this looks like a win. And on our pawn we have an event tick there that's doing weird things. Right, so we can basically delete that, save that, and this is going to be good. And this can go. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, initialize camera. Okay. So that gets us back on track as far as our camera goes. Okay. Now, what we could do in the meantime is, oh, I forgot what I was going to do there, guys. I forgot what I was going to do. I had an idea, but no, that should be okay. Oh yeah, I was going to move the camera, right? Because 100. So we save that. Right. And yeah. And there she goes. Now, I am under the impression that our dead goat should actually now displace, well it's not. Now that depends. I'm going to delete that for now. Okay. And for this, we're going to hide it. And now we're going to check on our dead goat, which isn't displacing. Right, so I'm going to ask my colleague now. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . should the dead goat be displacing snow? I'll wait and see if I get an answer to this one. I know my colleague was taking a look at it. And we probably, hey somebody, how you doing? So we should be displacing that goat. But you can see there, we're climbing. We're displacing. And now and we managed to shoot it there. Alright, what's the problem? What's going on here? Well, okay, this might be a remnant of the other night when I was changing the pawn around. Hi Flight Sim Media, how you doing? Right, we need to get, where's our goat? Okay, so that's it shot. Right. So we need to add breakpoints here. Okay. Add breakpoint there. Oh, that's good, Flight. What are you working on? If you don't mind me asking. When we made that event work, then I took a copy and pasted to another project, so I can't make sounds work. You've lost me, somebody. You've lost me. Right. What the heck? I didn't disable that breakpoint. so this is our goat. Okay. Step over. And that's dead goat. Step over. We'll dismiss that for now. We'll resume that. Right, so basically when we press that, we're not doing anything. Okay. Right. So basically what we need to do here is we need to go and look at our dead goat. And enable breakpoint. Okay. Somebody, you'll need to explain a bit better that I know it's hard in text to explain some issues in Unreal Engine, but when we made that event work, then I took a copy and pasted to, right, I don't know what event you're talking about. Right, the event where you step on a collision and another collision appears. Eh? I don't remember doing that. And Flight Sim, currently working Souls-like project, only working on it myself, so taking my time with it and enjoying the ride. Yeah, that's what you're best doing. You're best, especially when you're learning. I'm going to assume that you're learning, okay? Sorry about that, but where did my goat go? I'm guessing the goat's wandered over there. I think I hit it there. Yeah, I did. Right, so the thing is, this was working the other day, right? Now, I did change the pawn up, so oh, so you're Scottish Flight Sim. Right, so we're setting the interactable item, okay? And that basically brings up our interface or our widget that allows us to skin. And when we press skin, the dead animal thing is definitely doing that, right? Okay, I think I know what the problem is. Right, so what we need to do here is we have been mucking around with animation blueprints, merging different things together, etc., etc. And what we need here is in our animations, right, in here we've got our montage. What we need to do is open this montage, and we need to change the slot to upper body. No, sorry, full body. Okay? So everything is actually working there. It's just that I'm stupid sometimes. And I've got no idea if I hit the thing there. We hit it there though. Right. So we do that, resume, and there she goes. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's cool. Right, and now if we hit this, oh, that's not so nice. That is not so nice. Okay, that's fine. We now have to fix this, right? And I am guessing that it is something to do with adding to yeah, that should be in there. Duh. So I must have missed that one the other night there when I was doing all the changes to the pawn. Okay. I basically recreated the pawn the other night, merging all the different merging two pawns together basically, with all the animation stuff plus everything else. Okay, so we shoot our goat, and our goat goes away and then dies. Right? Then we skin it. I'm going to disable this breakpoint. And then we're going to consider that, we're going to consider this going to work, right? So we're doing our skinny thing. And now if we press here, we've got our 3 goat meats. Okay. And then if we use it and then exit, there is our goat meat going up. Okay, so we can do that again. We can click on that, use, and there's our goat meat going up. And there we go. Right. So yeah. Now, what we need to do is either, yeah, I think that's what we'll do. I think that is what we'll do. What we'll do is we'll go to our projectile, right? So that's all the animations. So what we need is in here, we've got to go into here. And I've got to find out where I put the projectile, right? So if I go to pawn, and it's basically input actions, eat, drink, thermal reinforcement, switch cameras, in play, fire arrow. Okay. Alright, so here is our spawn arrow, which is BP arrow. And it's in hunting, so that kind of makes sense. Now, if it implements this interface, okay, so this is going to be a bit complicated because the idea is if you shoot an arrow, right, you need to pick it up. So really, an arrow is going to be an interactable. Okay, but it's only going to become an interactable when it actually hits you. Okay, so up until that point, it's not going to be interactable. If that sounds like sense. Okay, it's kind of like the goat here, right? See this goat here, right? If we click on our goat, right, you'll notice if I open this, it's a BP based wildlife, okay? Now, if we look at this and open it, it is just a character, okay? Now, the interesting part here is that it's when you shoot it, the way it works, right? Here's the logic behind it. And I'm going to have to do something similar. But when you shoot a goat, and then it lies over and dies, I spawn another item, which is the goat interactable. It's the dead animal that I spawn. And then basically I delete the goat, okay? So basically then you can interact with the goat, okay? So I'm going to have to do something similar to this arrow, right? That when it hits something, it becomes interactable, right? So it basically spawns the interactable version of itself. Okay? That's what I'm kind of getting at here. So, yeah, there's that. Now, the other thing is now that we're using this cat, right, okay, I'll explain this other issue that I want to sort out, right? When you walk up to this ladder, right, the ladder, you're placed right in front of the ladder, right? Basically facing the ladder, and basically at this point here, X and Y. Okay? Now, what I might need to do is set a point, a scene component, right, that is this point. Okay? Now, for our ladder, that might be correct. Okay? But for a brazier, this isn't, we don't want this as the use point, right? Obviously the use point is going to be around here, and we're actually using, to be quite honest, it's actually going to be here. Okay? So we need to work out where we place the character, right? But we need it to be a system where we can do it. Okay? So what I'm thinking is, if we look at our interactable items, right, and we go to the base blueprints and we look at interactable item, okay, what we could do is in here and while we're doing this, actually, okay, somebody, I'll speak to you later, bud. Message me on Discord if you've, and send me a couple of pictures if you've got an issue still. Right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use an example. Right, now that's a bad example. That's a good example because that's the one we use in the game. Okay, before we do this, I'm going to go, I need to pop to the toilet. So I'll be back in a second. In the meantime, guys, hit like and subscribe. Check the description for Discord, where I help people in there as well. And also my Patreon, where you can support the channel and the game, and my previous game on Steam. Adding it to your wish list would help a lot on the Steam algorithm. I'll be right back, don't go anywhere. Okay guys, sorry about that, but when you gotta go, you gotta go. So, next thing, let's say we add interesting. Interesting. Well, whichever way we do it, we could add a scene component, okay, and then we can call it use position, okay. So for example, if you're going to use, let's say, you're not going to change it here, okay. The easiest way to actually view this is if we look at our fire brazier, we've got this use position, okay. Now the other thing here is we don't want to use this mesh. It's not going to use that mesh, but we want it cleared anyway for the moment. We go to the fire brazier, right, and if we go to the outline mesh, we can actually bring it in and it's not that one. Hi Pondelichko. So we're gonna go bra z. Can we make them a bit bigger? So that's not the right one. Well, that's interesting. Okay. Okay. So what we're going to have to do is go into the data table and find out which one the brazier's using, right? So brazier. So it's fire pit. Okay. Fire pit. And it's this one. Okay. So basically we want this use position right here, and we want it pointing there. Right? Because that's the direction that we want the player to face when we're doing that. Okay, so in here we're going to clear this again. We're going to save it, and now if we click on this, and there is our use position. Now that is weird. right? Because we just spun that around to face this. So the actual X position, no, that's actually, that's okay. I think that's okay, right? So just for a laugh, for the brazier, right, we basically say, is it a montage? And we're going to have to do a little bit of work here. Right? So what we could do is, in the interactable item, right, we can add a custom event and say move char to use point. Okay, and then we get the ref char okay, and we're kind of thinking as we do this, and we say location and rotation, okay, and then we get a reference to, well, actually we get use position, we get the world location, and we'll try it with this first. We might need to do something with this, I'm not sure yet. Right, so in our fire brazier, char what did I call that? Move char to use point. Okay, move char to use point. Okay. And press play. And I'm going to have to bring our brazier closer. Right? Light. Okay. So the rotation isn't right, but that was kind of what I thought. It might be that we need to get the world rotation, and there might be an offset. Okay, but when we go back to here, in fact, what we're going to say with our ref char is switch the camera. Switch the camera to the static camera. Straighten this. And we're going to rename this. Did rename. Move character to use point. And switch camera. Okay. And yeah. Then what we do is after we've done that, we switch the character back, we switch the camera back. So switch camera back to our proper camera. Sorry, our normal camera. And I believe we might have a 90-degree offset for our character. Okay. Now, as you see, we actually, this was the use point here. Right? So what we'll do is we'll move it a bit closer so we don't need to walk so blooming far. Right? And this thing's up in the air now. So we're not going to do that. We're going to hit that. Then we're going to press play. Right. And yeah. And that works good. Except for one thing. Alright. If we go to the viewport and our use position, it's a little bit close. Make it that, and we'll try that again. Okay, so wow. I'm going to escape that. Right. And we're going to break this. Okay. We're going to drag this down a bit because we're going to split this pin, and we're going to split that pin. We're going to do X and Y. Okay. And here's the thing, right? I've never used this, right? So let's see if we can do this. Index. No, we can't do that. Okay. Okay, whatever. We'll just do it the standard way. We'll just get location. Active location. Then we'll split that and we'll go Z. Okay. So we can now, we should be able to just like this. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so that's cool. And the other one is the dead animal, right? So we can do this, but we want the interactable SK, right? So if we go to here, right, that's okay. And what we do here is basically add this to here. And then if we look at this one, it is attached to that object. Right, so it's attached to the skeletal mesh. So we add a component, scene, let me see, use position. Now, probably actually what we want to do is we want to pass something in here to say either use this position or use another position, or use like the default, like the mesh, right? But anyway, so now in our dead animal, right, use position is fine, okay, but it should be rotated 180, right? And now we do our move camera. All right. And then we switch the camera back. Okay. Right. So that's going well, I think. So we're going to test that, but in a minute I'm going to go and grab myself a coffee, okay? So I shall be right back. Sorry about this, guys. I had to go to the toilet earlier as well. But I really need to get myself a coffee. So I'll be back in a second. If you're enjoying the content, hit like, subscribe, check out the description for various links. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we have a fresh cup of coffee now, and we're going to get on and see where this leads us. hopefully to something good. It will certainly be back. So we've got to go and kill a goat again. Right. And with that, or after that, we're going to try something else regarding our camera. Right, I hit it there. Okay. And that gives us an issue. So, what we're going to actually do, we may not need this. Well, we may need the move, but we may need something else. We were definitely considering moving the camera. Okay, and it's offset. So what we could actually do is when we switch camera sides, we see what it does. And we do exactly the same thing. Okay. But then we switch it back. Okay. So, in effect, we want to find this function and copy it. Right, so it's called switch camera side, and we also have a set boom offset. Right. Now, I want to know where this is fired from. Right. And it's set from here. Okay. Switch camera side. Right. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to copy this. and then I'm going to create another function. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to call it switch camera to back. Okay. Now, in theory, we're going to get our camera and that's going to be to 0. Okay. And we're going to save that. And then in our pawn, we're going to set a key again to move this camera. Okay, so we're going to say keys to 8. Have I got this set somewhere else? Yeah, I had it set to this, but we're using it for something else. Right, so if I say switch camera to back, okay. This is just to give my designer two options, so he can look at either or and see which one he prefers, right? So if I go 8, it moves it to the center. Except it kind of doesn't. So what I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to move these I'm going to remove them one by one. And see what that does for us. And that doesn't really do anything for us. But the question is, if we do that, I don't think that's going to do anything. But we can try it. See, it's not really moving anything per se. It's only sort of doing something. So I am of the opinion that that previous answer is the better answer. Okay, so we're going to leave it for now. Right, but for our interactable item and our for this, right, we need an input. And we're going to say we probably actually need an enum on this, right? For I'm just going to say down position, right? And actually, yeah, we're going to need that, right? And then on our switch camera, we're going to need a down. Undo that. Right, we're going to add a new one. And we're going to say low position. Okay. And then in our here, we're going to add a local variable. No, we're not. Okay. So our thing here, and this might take a bit more thought later on, but we're going to branch here. Right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to grab this and we're going to say location. Right? And we'll get the world location. In fact, we won't. What we're going to do is we're going to set location. Okay. And that's to its default, which is 40. Minus 100. Okay. We could set this up as a variable. But we'll just get it working first. Right. And then if it's set to true, or low, and then we set it again here, except this time we're going to set Z to 0, which is going to bring it down. We need to check for this. So we're going to save that. We're going to save that and grab ourselves a drink of coffee. Okay. And now we're going to tick that. And for this, we're going to pass that in there. Okay. Then we can kind of tidy this up a bit-ish. So now okay, apparently we're not very good at shooting. Maybe I already shot it. Yeah, I did. Right. Cool. So that's that working as well. That works pretty good. And Yeah. Cool. I can live with that. And the most important one is this climbing one. I think I hit it there. Yeah, apparently I didn't. So it's basically running away. Right. So that's going well. And we can take it that we can move the camera down low, or we can keep it up above. And yeah. So I think what we'll do, maybe when I'm off stream or whatever, is when you get given something by, like when you pick up, for example, when you skin the dead animal, it's going to give you meat, okay? And what I might do is I might do like a little icon that comes up. And then shoots off to the side as you pick things up. Which will be a nice way of seeing that you actually gained stuff. So we'll have a think about that. But I think the camera issue is kind of solved. So on that, thanks you guys for watching. If you've enjoyed the content, the stream, hit the like, subscribe, especially subscribe, and check out the links in the description for my Discord, also Patreon where you can support the channel and the game, and also my previous game on Steam, where even just adding it to your wish list will help me with the Steam algorithm. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be back at 8 PM Central tonight. We shall carry on with the next problem and hopefully get things moving forward. Thanks again. Bye bye for now.